Okay, so I'm going to talk about sustainable tourism through collaboration between community and higher education, ? The case of a master program in sustainable destination development at Uppsala University and Campus Gotland. Oops, no. So, sustainable tourism, what is that and how can it be achieved? How tourism actually plays out depends to a large extent on the interplay between many different kinds of actors, public, private, and civil society, simply because tourism needs all these kinds of actors to become tourism. You need companies to provide services, you need authorities to provide infrastructure, etc., etc. And it's widely recognized that sustainable tourism development requires more collaboration between these actors, but it is also widely recognized that this kind of collaboration is quite difficult to achieve. And the question I would like to discuss here is whether higher education can play a role in this, and to discuss the case of this master program as an example of this. Taking the point of departure from higher education, then, we also have to think about, well, what is education for? What's in it for higher education to possibly engage in such an activity? Especially in sustainability issues, many of us find it important to have as a goal for education to enable students to work with wicked problems and complex challenges, and also to become relevant to local communities. And can this work to help students to be able to have competencies to solve wicked problems and to become relevant to local communities contribute to sustainable tourism development? So the case to be discussed here is a master program, which I am the manager for, meaning that I am a teacher of the program. I also developed the curricula for the program, and I am in general responsible for the program. It's an international master program in sustainable destination development at Uppsala University on Campus Gotland. It can be taken as a 1 or as a 2-year program for students. And in the academic year that ended now in June, we had 78 students enrolled in the program from all around the world. This means that we have a great heterogeneity, both in terms of where students come from and the different contexts in their origin, and also in their educational background, because the only requirement to enter this program is that you have a bachelor in anything. You don't have to have a tourism or a sustainability background. And we encourage this because we want to have this heterogeneity, and we see it as an asset that students have studied different things before they enter this program. We also have different tracks in the program, which means that students within the program will also have different competences. So we have one track in entrepreneurship, and one in nature-based tourism, and one in applied heritage politics. And here I am going to talk about one of the courses in the program that all the students take, regardless of whichever track they took. We call it projects in multidisciplinary teams. So students work in groups. Students who have taken different tracks, meaning that they have different competences, and they work with sustainability challenges that local actors on Gotland, that is companies, organizations, and authorities, that they have in their actual work, and which they provide to the program and to the course and to the students. So it's not made up problems that the students work with, but real challenges. And the students are asked, with the methodology of design thinking, to take upon these challenges, to think about what is the problem behind the problem, to redefine the problem, and then to propose solutions to these local stakeholders who provided these challenges. And one example from the first year this course was given, which was in the spring of 2019, the local DMO asked for a code of conduct for cruise tourists. And this was after the new cruise quay on Gotland had been inaugurated, and the number of cruise tourists increased on Gotland. So they felt there was a need to create a code of conduct to be able to protect the heritage, the cultural heritage, which is also the main reason for visit and the main tourist attraction to Visby. And the code of conduct is usually a list of things that you shouldn't do or that you should do for cruise tourists. And the students, they worked with this, and a code of conduct in that sense is not so interesting maybe or attractive to the actual tourists. So they redefined the problem and tried to find more creative solutions. So what they came up with was to use storytelling as a device and make the city wall, and the city wall is the main cultural heritage of Visby, into the speaking subject with the use of storytelling. So they proposed to create an application that you can download on your mobile phone, where the city wall will tell the tourists as they walk around the city wall stories about what has happened during its long time of existence. So it is storytelling from the first person of the city wall. So it started by saying, I am the wall. I have been around for many, many years. I have seen wars and loves and people's lives, etc., etc., etc. And through this storytelling to tell the tourists about the sustainability challenges that the heritage faces, to emotionally connect the cruise tourists to the heritage, and in this way motivate them to achieve this behavior that the code of conduct tries to achieve. So an innovative way of doing an alternative to a code of conduct. The students not only presented their results in this course to one another, but they were also able to present their ideas and their proposed solutions to the local businesses in the context of the local Gotland Cruise Network, which is a network for all the tourism actors that are involved in cruise tourism. So the students made presentations to all these companies and authorities who were there. And this was, I would say, a great success, in the sense that, of course, the students liked it. It's much nicer to present your proposed solutions to real challenges to those whom it concerns than only to the teacher. It was very nice for me, because the audience, that is the companies, they really liked the ideas. So the next year when I gave the course, I didn't have to go out and look for challenges among these actors to provide to the course, but they came to me. They wanted to participate. So that was really nice. So now they come to me and beg to be part of it. And also because one of the businesses, they really liked this particular idea of the city wall using storytelling. And this is a company who rent out bikes to tourists, where they also have maps and also digital maps. And they wanted to include this element of storytelling of the wall into their map. So they decided to implement it as part of their business, and they hired a student to do part of this work during a summer. So she worked for them as a summer job. And part of this was also that this student presented her work to the person responsible for the UNESCO heritage management locally on Gotland. And this was in a context where the local DMO arranged this meeting. So it was the student, it was me, it was the company, and this UNESCO heritage management manager. And this presentation by the student made the company and the UNESCO heritage manager talk with each other for the first time. And that's quite interesting, because both of them are central actors regarding the heritage. The UNESCO management is about preserving the heritage, while the tourism business use the heritage for tourism purposes, but they had never before met or talked with another. So through the presentation of these students, a new form of...
Wait, you have 5 minutes left.
Yes, thank you. A new form of local collaboration that did not exist before was created. So I suggest maybe that students can be seen as mediators between actors who, for various reasons, may not have collaborated before or have difficulties in collaborating because they have different stakes. So even if you have different stakes, like these two actors, the one using heritage and the other preserving heritage, it seems like everybody likes an enthusiastic student, so that they can probably be neutral mediators when they come with new solutions to old problems. One thing I would like to highlight is that how can we, what is needed within the perspective of higher education to enable these kinds of processes to happen. And as I see it, since we should, the education that we provide must of course be based on knowledge and research. So we have to provide a basis for this. And the kind of basis I've been using when I developed curricula that allows for this is, in terms of what students should learn, I rely on what is called competences for sustainability. Maybe you know about it. I would like to highlight not least the last competence, the interpersonal competence, the ability to motivate, enable and facilitate collaborative and participatory sustainability research and problem solving. So this is one way of incorporating an expected learning outcome that actually allows for this to happen, and where students learn this by doing this collaborative work. But it's not only about what students learn, it's also about how students learn, because I could also very well just give a lecture about the importance of collaboration, which in this model then would be a more transmissive pedagogy. But what I used in this course is more of a participatory and transformative learning environment, where students learn by doing together with others to have a practical experience and to learn from that rather than the theoretical knowledge of the lecture. So to conclude, I would suggest that sustainable tourism can be promoted through collaboration between the community and higher education institutions, but that from part of the university, this is promoted with education for sustainable development, or ESD, which allows us for creating a curricula that is suitable for this. Thank you.